This is also the long-awaited meeting of two Purdue transfer quarterbacks in Appleby and Danny Etling.
The Boilermaker Bowl.
The Boilermaker Bowl. LSU by 4, according to Sportsline. Home field, I thought maybe even more.
Man, think about that. The location of this game. Location, location, location. I think ultimately that's going to be the difference in this ball game, particularly when you consider how banged up Florida is up front. They're on their third center. Their right tackle's got an ankle. They're just banged up. Martez Ivey goes from left guard out to left tackle. I like Scarlett in the way that Florida's been running the football. I think it's a push on the defenses, but at the end of the day, I think LSU with their offensive line and running game at home is the difference.
Yeah, I'm going to go with LSU in this one as well. I commend Florida, their defense, without their two leading tacklers, Anzalone and Davis. They were still pugnacious versus South Carolina and really held them in check. That freshman Bentley didn't drive like a Bentley. It was more like a Studebaker. So that running game and the defense, man, they really fly after you. They were stout against Alabama until they weren't there in that fourth quarter, and I think we see that same type of pugnacious D again.
Well, you look at Florida, I mean, they're just a different team. They're down 7 starters from when they really were at full speed. It's hard to say, well, they have a chance. What LSU is holding people to about 13 points a game, about 300 yards a game total offense. If Florida was to gain 300 yards against this defense, that would be about a 20-yard improvement from what they've been doing lately. Florida's only beat them once this decade. Ain't going to happen.
Hard to imagine.
LSU wins big.
Florida right now is like the flight of the Phoenix. They're just out there trying to get the thing off the ground. See if they can get it to the dock and get to Atlanta. It has been an inspirational deal. Appleby's performance last week, I thought, was a shot in the arm, 17 of 21, 200 yards. He's going to have to be on fire again for that to happen, meaning that he'll have to get out of his hands because this is a very aggressive defensive front. And they're going to have to be really high caliber on third down. They're right now at 46%, which is shocking considering
you're taking
all the
Florida?
I'm not. I think that LSU is too powerful right now. And I think all of us, using the eyeball test, would say LSU's at least in the top 6 in the country in terms of how they're playing right now and who they have. But they're not going to be there because they've lost a bunch of games up there. But LSU will win this game.
All right, and again, it would be another plus on the scales of weighing whether or not Ed Orgeron gets this job. BJ says no. He's got high respect for him as an assistant. You say give him the job.
I would love it. I think he'd be entertaining. I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think it's going to happen? What about you guys?
I would hire him, but like he's saying, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to want somebody with a proven track record as a head coach, not just an interim head coach for that job. You can be a good defensive line coach. You can inspire guys.
He recruits well.
But the skill set necessary to do it year in and year out is quite a bit different than what he's been asked to do both here and at
I would bring up the point that it is the 21st century. So LSU at least ought to update into the 1980s, maybe 1990s as to their offense, because teams do throw the ball on a regular basis, and it's such a different world. Their talent level is as good as anybody in the country. They need an offense that can score points. If they can score points, they'll be able to beat anybody.
Whoever the new head coach is, and the last time I worked the phones a couple weeks ago, it was Dave Aranda was the leading candidate. Now, that could have changed. I'll go back and work the phones, and I'll report back to you next week.
Thank you. Our
Dave
insider.
Aranda. 60 minutes.
Why do we even have this conversation?
Yeah, Dave Aranda was the leading candidate, but whoever the head coach is, Curry called
Heaven
the
forbid
country.
they hire an offensive coach.
Curry call him the country and find a quarterback. That's the only missing piece.